Welcome to the blind spot here on Flashpoint. I did like your Mortal Kombat character, like D-grade Mortal Kombat character reference.
Get away from me!
Opposite Scorpion. If you guys were a Mortal Kombat character, what would your fatality be? See, I've already decided mine. I would put my opponent on a bridge and then just light it on fire.
Ah, I see that.
Yeah, you see that?
I get you. I get you there. Yeah.
Jason's, I think, would be just grab a guy by the anus and just destroy him. I think that would be
How does one grab someone by their anus?
It's a move you have to practice a lot. Hard to find partners to practice that as well.
Anders, answer the damn question. You can't just turn it around on me for no reason.
Do you know what character Bardolph would be?
Go on.
Katana, because he only has 2 fans.
Wow. You guys have to answer the question. You can't keep dodging the question.
I answered it for
No, you did not.
Obviously, Anders would kill someone in the most ridiculous manner and then just incredulously start screaming, "Are you kidding me?" As he verbality'd them.
I think Anders' fatality would be just talking to someone about all the different conspiracy theories that he believes in until they just die of boredom. They just literally roll over.
They lose all will to live.
I was gonna say maybe like a lion comes and mauls them and he just narrates it like a nature documentary.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's it. Come on, the rest of you.
All right.
You have to play my stupid games. We're not moving on until we do.
What I would do is, I would actually use the power of illusion to transform my opponent into me, and then Brazilian fans would just rush them and devour them. Like World War III, they just eat them alive. And
That's a good one.
Only
I like
bones
that
left
one.
over.
I like that one.
I just wouldn't be able to decide how I'm going to kill them every time.
Okay.
And,
They just die of old age?
Yeah, they would just fall over.
Okay.
What about maybe you could turn them into Motum on CT side in the pit, and then they'd just be dead on the run anyway. You wouldn't even do anything at that point in time. Like they wouldn't be able to survive.
I would just let Floppy kill him for me, actually.
You just like point and Floppy just shows
Floppy
up.
just comes out of nowhere and it's like fatality.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so you brought it back to the actual game now. Cloud9 wins on the back of Floppy.
That's not even a joke. The sad thing about this is, listen, some elements of what Cloud9 did on T side I like. Their CT side was an abomination, and legitimately, I don't often use the term deserves. They deserved to win maybe like 4 CT rounds. What happened was they would constantly lose Motum in the pit, and then Floppy basically, whenever they were in like a man disadvantage, would just 3k out, and they would just win the round. Like, August have to be so frustrated with the way this game played out.
Well, I mean, they really only have themselves to blame because when I look at Orglis, I think they had a great T side against Cloud9. It's really their own defensive side where they couldn't do anything with retakes, whether it was overextending before the retake began or an inability to properly retake in a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3. Down the stretch, they lost, I think, like 3 retake scenarios in the final like 8 rounds of that map. So that was the real dagger that destroyed Orglis.
I mean, especially that round where they went for the boost to try and kill the bomb planter after they were in a 5-on-3. That's kind of unforgivable. That's like the pinnacle round, isn't it?
And it's also the kind of way you'd expect a team like Orglis to lose, where we heard FNS talking about some of the disorganization and the lack of ability to practice for various reasons. Those are the kind of things that slip away from you first. It's not the skill of your individual players, which was on point throughout the series. I mean, I think Sabrosa did a very good job of, just being this solo, bastard who just rolled in and just killed someone immediately every round. But the inability to retake is just, it's unforgivable.
Well, I mean, congrats to Orglis, though, for making it this far. Like, coming in and placing top 6 here at Flashpoint.
Without an org.
Without an org from the qualifiers.
They didn't have a coach for the first few weeks.
Yeah, this is...
And remember, they win the first map. They're looking good on all these maps.
Yeah.
I was almost going to whip out my thing of, like, FNS's master plan came true. We had no org. He still made it top 4. He was like, it doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. He really just wanted to do the bad voice. You know what it was.
You can crowbar that bad boy in there.
Yes,
He put his team in a great position to win this game. Like, so many of the rounds, I mean, the nuke pick itself, that caught off Cloud9. They got off to such a hot start on that, able to convert that into a win. And then some of these rounds on Inferno, they had a good T side.
By the way, holy shit, how small is your thumb? Hold your thumb up. See that? What the fuck is that? That's like a micro machine. What is that? You must be terrible at Smash Brothers.
It's all right. That's why he's not a console gamer, you know?
That's why I'd use a mouse wheel to jump, not spacebar.
Right, there you go. There you go. That's good. Good save.
That's a good one. All right, we do have Floppy from Cloud9.
Curious guy.
Hello,
You guys hear me?
Floppy.
Hello?
Congrats on fixing your hair. You look
Thanks.
beautiful. I just want you to know that.
Well done for winning an entire best of 3 by yourself. I've never seen it done before.
No, I just made my team.
You just baited them?
Yeah, I just
That's why Motum died first every time. You're a thinker.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. That's politics. Good.
All right, so things were looking a little bit ropey there. What was your prep like coming into today's match, Floppy?
I don't know. After we lost to Mad Lions, I just decided to play more grimy and oily CS. So I haven't showered in the past 2 days, and that's pretty much why we.
Did do him dirty.
Does
Yeah.
the room smell right now?
No, I'm surprised. I mean, maybe it does because we've been sitting here all day, and we like get used to the smell. But I think it's.
That is how all the factory senses work.
bathing in your own filth? Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're learning so much from this interview, guys. Any
How
other
many questions you guys got?
I've got a question for you. What do you think about the way the map Vito actually played out? Like there was some unexpected elements to this.
Yeah, I think, well, Nuke is, I'm pretty sure their highest win rate map before this BO3, and I think we played them before in like Prac and stuff, and they were pretty good on it. They obviously had like a lot of good stuff to call us off guard, and in general, it was like their T-side was pretty good as well. Like they had stuff, and we kind of screwed up. We were like started really slow too on CT side Nuke, and it was kind of just like our warm-up game, but then we just brought it back, brought the energy up.
I guess I have a question. The way that you're playing right now, you seem to be the sort of the standout player in most of the games. And if someone was going to come by with a large contract from another organization to sort of like get hyped into, let's say, FaZe or something like that,
You just won the game. They're still in the tournament. Just, like, sorry, my apologies. Keep going.
Listen,
This is going to be good. I think he's probably
not-
going to say yes at the end. So come on.
I'm not about to ask him if he's going to be jump ship in the middle of the tournament.
No, why would you do that?
I'm just saying this Cloud9 project that's being built, is the interest in sort of continuing this and building that over the next 6 or 12 months or how long it's gonna be to work, or is
How the fuck do you expect him to answer this question?
Let's not judge. Let's just see where Floppy goes.
let it go.
Floppy,
Let-
would you
I
like
wanna
to
hear the
cut
question.
all your
Yeah.
teammates and join another team right after you've won this match?
are you going to stab them in the back?
No. Like, I love my teammates. I've been teammates with them for 7 months, and if something like that were to happen, I would be like sad, honestly, because I love them as friends out of the game as well. But
Still be
I
friends
mean,
outside
if
the
something
game.
like that would happen, then
Now
I
you're
mean, whatever happens, happens.
All right, let me ask a less extremely loaded question here, which is what has been your biggest area of improvement so far over the totality of Flashpoint?
Area of improvement? I don't know. I'd say like I really don't know. It's just like I play my own game and I just win. I don't know.
Yeah, the land portion ended. Yeah, we get it.
Here's a question.
Yeah, land's over.
If Flashpoint worked so that every time you beat a team, you could take one of their players, you don't have to say who you'd kick. Who would you take from
Like a better
Orcus?
version of your question.
Who would I take from Orglis? I'd definitely say Infinite, because that dude's literally a beast on land and online.
Sadly, I don't think he'll be joining Cloud9. Just a guess.
Yeah, probably.
Never mind.
Anyone else?
Anyone?
Andrews took my
Any other
question.
questions?
Wow.
Where were you actually going with that question, though? Where was it going to end?
I was just trying to set him up for future, so we can look back and
Big himself up and.
no, so that a year from now when he does betray his team, we could say, aha. So
I don't want to be a snake, guys.
All right, enough from you. All right, let's talk about your next match. So you've guaranteed yourself a top 4 placement here at Flashpoint 1. Your next opponent is Havu, who played earlier today. What do you think you can exploit that you've seen from Havu so far?
I think Habu, based off playing them in prac and matches, I think what we can exploit is just like they really have like a lot of set defaults that we can counter. Like we pretty much know where everyone is on the map at any given time, just because they play really well, Team CS really well, and as a result, we can just like exploit things like that and like find as many reads as we can based off of our own games and other games that they play against other.
I got a question now.
Good job, Moses.
Thank you. We saw yesterday like a really sick performance out of Cloud9 against Mad Lions, and that kind of performance gave us a lot of confidence in predicting you guys to win against Orglis. But this was a series that was very ropey all the way down to the end. So, what is like the main thing that is like causing the inconsistencies in the team performance? Like, why are you guys so up and down from day to day?
I mean, you guys lose your own map quite a lot, but win the opponents.
Yeah, it's been happening not even towards us either. I see like in other teams they lose their map pick. I think versus Mad Lions, me specifically, I really just played horribly, and like needed to really step up for my team. And Sonic and OC stepped up for me, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. And Inferno was just like a really like close game as well. So, I mean, anything can happen, but yeah, it just sucked.
How high do you think you're going to be placing here at Flashpoint?
At least top 4.
Congrats. Nice.
Checkmate,
Nailed
Monty.
it.
Checkmate.
All right, Floppy, we'll let you
Now,
go.
who would you cut in the top 3?
No, we're not asking those questions.
Myself.
He cut himself to join a better roster. See, we got it. We got it.
There we go. We got him.
He's the thing.
Coming
Got it
full
right.
circle. No, just kidding. All right, thank you very much for Floppy for today. Congrats on a really, really strong performance. We'll be looking forward to your match versus Havu tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later. All right. We're going to take a little break, and when we get back, we'll be discussing the playoff picture more broadly. Here's how our lower bracket is shaping up. Orgless and Genji depart. Flashpoint 1 today. Havu and Cloud9 advance. Still in it, but with only one life remaining, as it were. Upper bracket, Mad Lions versus MIBR. 2 lives remaining. 1 will be headed to the grand final. So, taking a look at everything, we have 4 teams that are remaining. All of the teams, as of today, have now played on our new patch. So with that in mind, how is this changing your predictions for the last 4 teams in this playoff?
I think my first reaction is I think MIBR is going to have a tougher time winning. I think their percentage chance of winning has just kind of dropped, specifically just because I've seen KNG on so many T-sides just be a beast, specifically with the Krieg, that it worries me how much impact and how much he's helped. That's my big one. That's actually my biggest takeaway is that I think MIBR, I think their chances of just winning is just so much more difficult now.
I actually think this is like a mild buff to Mad Lions and to Havu in the sense that they're tactical teams anyway. Like they can get all the things that they do generally done with an AK. And if anything, they're also never going to face a Krieg on the CT side, which is what can really shut down some of these teams if an MIBR gets the weapon on that side. So like, I'm not really sure for Cloud9 where they come down. I feel like they're not really affected as much.
I think Cloud9, Havu, and Mad Lions are going to be fine without it. MIBR, I agree with Jason. I think that they're going to have the hardest time with this. We saw so many clutches from players like even Taco just getting 3K on the defense of a retake just because he has a Krieg. It felt like. It didn't feel like with an AK he would have had those kind of successes. And also Fallen said himself, KNG and Fallen, they're not the best riflers. They've been struggling with op identity for that team for a while now.
Yep.
And now that KNG doesn't have a scope weapon, it's going to be a lot harder for him.
Maybe they'll make up for it by transitioning into the Bison and Tech9 meta much earlier than everyone else. And that's how they'll do it.
All right, that's a bold prediction as usual from Anders. All right, so
Just maybe set the mic down for like 2 minutes.
so
Not enough of that.
Considering this weekend. All right, pipe down. Considering this weekend T side strats and buff CT side, I want you guys to rank the teams 1 through 4 in terms of CT side strength.
The bottom has to be Cloud9 immediately. They're just far and away. Like we've seen Bottom has some issues on certain maps. Like CT side, they haven't been that good anyway. After them, who's after them? I think probably Havu.
Yeah, I'd probably say Havu's probably the...
I'd put Havu at second. I'd put MIBR next.
So really nothing.
I do Cloud9 would be fourth, MIBR third, Havu second, Mad Lions first.
Okay, so that ranking sounds like it might have changed from if we were playing on the previous patch, right? You would have swapped Havu and MIBR?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of confidence. I think actually it would have changed from the beginning of the season, but I don't know if it would have changed coming into the playoffs. I've actually been super impressed with Havu coming into the playoffs. Their tactical and their philosophy and the way they play the game. But then now in playoffs, they've also showed us that they have the individual skill to go on top of that to go toe to toe with a team like Gen G that, while underperforming, has incredible individual skill. When you have players still delivering against that squad, their stock just rises in my book.
Yeah,
so.
for anyone who hasn't seen, if you go and look at the rankings, I haven't seen it at the end of this game because I'm assuming Floppy could have risen up there, but up before this match here, if you take Smoothie out, who played 2 maps and obviously owned them, so he has crazy stats, Slowy has moved all the way up to number 2 ranked player in the entire tournament.
Yep.
And this is after a lot of maps. Remember, we're talking people play like 20 maps at this point in time. This isn't you had like 5 good maps.
But doesn't this go against our narrative somewhat about maybe Havu not having the individual strength? Because Slowy's been great.
I don't think it goes against the narrative. I think it's just the narrative has shifted based off what we've seen, right? It's
also the
Classic
player I-
analyst
Yeah. You like
answer.
that?
He's also the player I would actually pick that has actually elevated himself above his teammates. Like,
Yeah.
for me, Zori gets big frags, but it's within the element of players. Solic's just a playmaker. This guy just gets it going.
This kind of fits. I think it still fits the narrative because a lot of times when a team has good tactics on top of and good setups on top of that, certain players are going to get set up because
I get that.
their strategies are good. So Slowy, he's shown some strengths here and there. I thought Dodo has shown a lot of mechanical.
Stop
skills
helping
as well,
Moses.
But it I don't know if I would actually. Even though Slowy is at the top there, I think that's more of a product of the system than him actually showing a lot of individual skill. He's shown some flashes, but a lot of it's predicated
But that
on...
shouldn't take any credit away from him.
No,
that's
he's-
just good shit from the team.
He's been great, and it's kind of like how MOTM on the T side of Cloud9 gets really a lot of benefit because JT's throwing god tier flashes all the time for him.
Fair enough.
the old Alex and Zywoo equation.
So is everybody still on board? Mad Lions winning Flashpoint 1?
There's one caveat, which is what MIBR did to Havu yesterday, which was basically just exploit all the situations where you're pressured, where like it's a late round scenario, you're really thinking about it. One player like Fallen's just going off and you don't know what to do against the tier 1 player. That could happen to Mad Lions. It's just that they've put themselves in so many advantageous situations. They've got the map pool for it. I don't know if MIBR can pressure them to get to that point in time.
All right, I'm going to do one last question for you guys.
Ah, shit.
You know, you can just leave.
Cool.
Goodbye. If you had to predict an MVP for Flashpoint right now, who is it?
A-Core,
Really?
just based on personal preference. My
What about
personal MVP.
Shush?
He's not as cool as A-Core.
He hasn't picked him, so no. He picks Acorn, won't he?
Yeah.
I was hoping to convince him, but apparently I can't.
What about my personal preference?
Performance-based would probably be hard to defend.
As
but
you know, as you'll come to learn, I just treat my opinions as facts. So
We already have one of those in Counter-Strike.
Hey, Jason, will you just fucking give us a bit of room here, for God's sake? Let's breathe.
I'd have to
Well
go with
played.
Fallen, though. I think Fallen has been the MVP thus far. And right now, they're neck and neck with Mad Lions in terms of positioning in the bracket. So if you had to stop the tournament today and say, who's the MVP? It's kind of like A-Core actually has been not as impressive as I've kind
I
of figured,
agree.
actually. Shush has been really
don't
impressive,
listen.
along with Bubsky for Mad Lions. But then again, I can't really pick an MVP if 3 of their players are just all performing really well, because who's the most valuable player? Is it just the system that they're in? You can't
Here's
pick
the
that.
problem,
Okay,
though.
okay, Maui. You know
Listen-
that this is always you can't just present
Okay.
the MVP argument. Here's what you do. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's what you do. You say these are my criteria for an MVP, and then you tell me those, and then you say under these criteria, here's my MVP.
All right. If Fallen did not win as many clutches as he has, MIBR could be out of this
Basically,
tournament.
Fallen has less help.
Yes.
Fallen has less help, and he's elevated his team to where they are now in a way that I don't think just Shush did or Acorn.
You are taking the wins above replacement approach
Yes.
to
Yeah.
MVP. I like it.
Problem with that logic is, like, Mad Lions is on something mental, like a 16-map win streak. Like, is it really like Shush's fault that everyone just doesn't lose maps? Like, are they supposed to throw games so you can win the MVP? Is he like, come on, guys, will you just
Maybe
settle down
that's
so I
what
can win an
C9
MVP?
was doing with Floppy today.
Well, they almost did too good a job with that. They must really want him to win the MVP. Tell you what, that Morton guy is a bloody selfless player.
All right, rest
Team
of
above everything. I would actually probably take. Ooh, where would I go with this one? See, I would either, if I went with like his angle, because I could go either way on this. Like, First certainly was very impactful. I don't think they even win that series yesterday without him. But I would probably just go with the Mad Lions player. I actually think it has to be Shush for me, because I came into the tournament thinking he was going to be a role player, and then I've just seen him win clutches, be good on every half, he's good on every match. The guy's just too good. I don't know where he come from. Denmark.
Nailed it. Yeah, you got that one.
What's your
I'll leave it to
criteria?
myself.
You know, I will confess I actually haven't even thought about an MVP in that term for this tournament.
You've
quite
had
yet.
5
Haven't
minutes
checked- yeah.
since we started the conversation.
I mean, I would probably go with. I would probably go with the Mad Lions. But I'd probably go with Bubsky or Shush. I think it's hard to go away from either of those, especially because I think Bubsky, for me, plays a super impactful role because he's frequently on maps that I notice he's like kind of one of the guys who's alone. He's kind of fighting individual duels. He's challenging. He's trying to read the game and know when he can find a one-on-one. And I think that's a really important skill in my book. So I mean, he'd be my favorite going into it. But Shush is right up there. So I think it depends. But Bubsky right now for me is the favorite.
All right. Well, we're going to see who's right in the end. We'll revisit this.
We've also somewhat highlighted there why Mad Lions is a favourite to win the tournament. They've got 3 MVP candidates.
Yes. I mean, it's hard to say that they aren't an overwhelming favorite at the present point in time, but we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, a new patch.
Tune in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something might happen. I don't know.
Also, they're a cool team to watch right now.
We'll make some
so.
jokes.
Also, I think every other team, if you want to predict them to win the entire Flashpoint, there's always going to be an if statement. Like MIBR can win if Fallen and Ferg continue to go off. Cloud9 can win if Floppy is still a god and if he gets a second player next to him. Havu can win if their tactics are geared properly against Mad Lions and if...
They update their firmware.
Yeah, but like Mad Lions, I think, is the only team who doesn't really have like a built-in if statement to analyzing their run.
Yeah, everyone else is conditional.
Yep.
If we use linguistic terms. Well, that's going to be it for us today. Let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule. First up, it will be our lower bracket, Havu versus Cloud9. The winner of that will advance to the losers bracket finals. And to cap things off, we have Mad Lions versus MIBR in our winners bracket finals. Loser of that match will not be out of Flashpoint. They get a second life. Until then, we'll see you in the morning.